Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your girl Tanyelle, and I'm back with a powerful word and a beautiful message that the Lord placed on my heart to share with His people. So, this word is coming from the movie The Shack. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you to go watch it. It is on Netflix. It's a great movie. This will be my second time watching it. And when I tell you that sometimes when you watch things over or now when you listen to lyrics, it's like it hits different. From when you used to listen to things or when you used to watch things, it didn't really have a significant meaning. But now it's like you're older, you're more mature, you're more spiritually aware. It's like everything just hits different. But for those who have not seen this movie, I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about this movie so you can know where I'm coming from with this word. So in the shack, there was this family that was wholesome. They were living righteous. They went to church. They did everything that they could, or they thought they were doing to serve the Lord. And then one day, the father took his 3 children on a overnight trip with another family, with multiple different families actually. And something happened in the water with his 2 older kids. So he had to jump in the water and go save them. When he came back, his younger daughter was missing. And from there, it's like the movie got really, really deep. He started blaming God. His life went downhill. His older daughter, stopped talking to him. He stopped showing love and stopped giving his wife attention. Like he just withdrew from life in his family. So one day he got a letter in the mail that's saying, well, when his daughter went missing, he ended up calling the police, and then they did a deep search. They end up finding his daughter's body in the shack. Then one day, out of the blue, he got a letter in the mailbox that said, "Meet me at the shack." And he thought that somebody was playing a game on him because they know that's where his daughter had passed away at. So he ended up going to the shack. While he was going, there was this truck that kind of ran him off the road. And when he got there, he was trying to figure out what to do. When he ended up getting there, he met this man who brought him to a whole another part of the shack. Maybe the shack when it wasn't the shack before it was the shack, right? You know how sometimes things get old and kind of go. But I'm not going to try to draw this longer than it needs to be. But he took him to the part of the shack that was beautiful, that was well guarded and well taken care of. And there, God did work on his heart, where God searched who he truly was and help him forgive, help him find rest in what has happened, help him see his daughter, help him love again, right? He needed that, because when we say that we love God and we serve God, these are the things that God is going to do, because he's a good father. He wants to see us in our fullness. He wants to see us happy. He does not want us in the dark. He does not want us depressed, angry, sad, mad, bitter at him, right? So they had to do a deep, deep work on his heart. This is the part that really had me boo-hoo crying. When I say boo-hoo crying, I'm talking about boo-hoo crying, y'all. So it got to the point where there was multiple different people in the movie that was presenting themselves as God to kind of help him with this work that he needed to do within himself. So she said to him, she was like, if you had to choose between your 2 other kids, which one would you choose for them to go to hell? And he couldn't pick. He was like, no, I don't want neither. He was like, pick me, choose me. I would prefer to go to hell. So she said some powerful things to him. She was like, why do you think that you are the judge of life, of people? You judge people all the time. She said you judge your neighbors, you judge your friends, and you judge your children, but you're not the judge of life. Because he wanted the person who did this to his daughter to go to hell. Like, he had his own perspective of what he wanted God to do to that person, right? But God is telling us that we're not the judge of the consequence that people get to get, right? God is. There are so many times, and there are so many people that needs to hear this. There's so many times where we are being so judgmental to other people that we haven't recognized that we're not the ones that are in control. We're not the ones that get to judge people. Yes, people do cruel, evil, wicked, wild things in life, right? But we don't get to choose how this person gets to get punished. That's God's job. We're always looking to take God's job. But I think what we need to recognize is that even these people who are evil, even these people who are wicked, they are still a child of God. And if God wanted to use them today for his glory, he could. And there could be nothing no one will ever do about it, because that's God's work. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes we are so judgmental of other people and people's situations that we don't take a step back and realize that this is not our job. That's the problem with the world now. This is one of the reasons why so many people are so unhappy. So many people are not living how they want to live because they're indulged in the consequences that other people should be getting. But if you read Matthew, it talks about how we need to recognize the speck that is on our own life. Matter of fact, let me go to it. The plank, that is on our own life. It says right here, Matthew 7, verse 1, do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of the sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the plank from your brother's eye. Plank is often blind to their own foolishness. Sometimes we are so blind to the fact that we should be judged just as we are judging these other people, because there are things that we have done. There are things that we have said. There are things that we have did to people, right? And we should be judged accordingly to the things that we have done also. So no, it's not fair that you believe that you get to judge people. It's not your job. It's not your place. And it's not what God has called you to do. God is in control of everybody's consequence, and everybody one day will face judgment. Everybody will have to live to the consequences of their behavior and their actions. That part of the movie was so powerful that it moved my heart, that it made me recognize places and areas in my own life where I'm being judgmental, where I'm overly judgy. And I asked God to help me work on that, fix that within myself, because I don't want to judge anybody, because I'm not the judge of nobody. I got to work on things in my own life, just like you have to work on things in your own life. You're not the judge of people and what you believe that their consequences should be done. There are some people that's so upset. See, our job is to trust that God would deliver and give justice in his time and when the time is right. Not when we believe it should happen. We just got to trust that he will give consequences to those. And there were times where I was like, my daughter deserved this. She deserved that. She needs to get this. I'm judging. But God is saying, that's my child. And if I want to give her another chance, if I want to allow her to make as many mistakes as she needs to make without a consequence until she grows and become who I have called her to be, then there's nothing I, as the mother, can do about it. Because that's his child. That's so powerful. Have you been judging people? Have you been judging the world? Most importantly, sometimes we judge other people like this because we have judged ourselves. There's something about ourselves that we keep judging. And when you find areas in your life that you keep judging yourself, you go and you look yourself in the mirror and you apologize for every time that you have judged yourself. That's what I want you to do. Every time that you have told yourself this, or you have believed something negative about yourself, apologize for it. Do not judge yourself and do not judge others. Free yourself from that. That's powerful right there. I wanted to come on and share this beautiful word with you guys. I pray that you go watch that movie. If you haven't watched it, it was powerful. The work that the Lord has done in that man's life, he made him new again, because God said that I will make all things new again. And he can make ugly situations beautiful. He showed that man his daughter, and he said, your daughter is fine. Your daughter is happy. Yes, she's not with you. And even though ugly and cruel things happen on the world, it does not mean that God allowed it to happen. Because we always think that God allowed certain things and evil things to happen. God does not always allow evil things to happen. Just like he doesn't promise us that we will have a peaceful and problem-free life. Your life will not be full of problems, your life will not be problemless. You will have problems, but you will also have God to get you through it. All right. So I thank you so much for listening to this word. I pray that this word reaches the people who it needs to reach. I pray that it touches whoever heart that it needs to touch. And I pray that you continue to work on things that God has called you to work on. Free yourself from being judgmental, not only from others, but for judging yourself too. You got to see yourself how God sees you. And how he sees you is far more beautiful and powerful than you will ever know or you can ever look at yourself. I love y'all, and I pray that you are having a wonderful day, and may God continue to work on your heart, your soul, and the things that he have called you to work on. Love you.